I'm just a boy from Kansas out to save the world from chronic disease. And I truly mean that. Nobody is in control of your health but you. I can't heal you. Your doctor can't heal you. You have to heal you. And it's all about having the education and empowerment to know what you need to be changing within yourself, within your life, to set your soul free and accomplish that best life that we all like to talk about. And I truly believe that the greatest medicine of all is to teach people how not to need it. I'm Brendan Vermeyer, the original Holistic Savage. Welcome to the Holistic Savage podcast. Kiran Krishnan, the Chief Scientific Officer of Microbiome Labs, with us today. Kiran, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for having me. Really, at the end of the day, the future of healthcare is going to be in empowering people to understand their bodies, understand how things work, understand how the world around us impacts them, and then how to advocate for themselves, right? I mean, we can't count on our doctors and practitioners to keep us healthy. Most of the decisions you make throughout your day-to-day lives will have an impact on your health in some way or the other. And understanding how those decisions make those impacts are going to be really important in making sure we don't need medicines and we don't need procedures and all that. So,
I think the universe kind of works in mysterious ways where it presents your path, and you're kind of stumbling around in the dark, and then you feel that ray of something that feels right. And so I love that, where it's like the universe is shining upon you of like, I know you don't want to step into, but you rose to the challenge, and here we are. You're traveling the world, lecturing constantly, and doing amazing things. And so with the next generation of probiotics, maybe just like the basics on, bacillus strains and the spore-based biotics, because so many people always are asking, because we're still in that transition. I think you guys are having a tremendous impact. But there are still a lot stuck in the, oh no, you need 100 billion colonies of your bifido-lacto, blend, whatever. So why spores?
Yeah. So, when we started looking at, okay, what should be a probiotic, or what should be the next generation of probiotics, we asked ourselves a simple question, and that's, where did our ancestors get their bacterial exposure? Where did they get their probiotics from? Because this really intimate and unique relationship we have with bacteria in our system doesn't occur overnight. It occurs over thousands of years of coevolution. We're in a place where we give out a lot of the control of our immune system to bacteria, which is insane, because the immune system is the only system we have in our body to protect us from the world around us. And yet our bacteria, foreign entities, if you will, control that immune system. It's the same as putting 100% of our control, or even 60 or 70% of the control of our military to another country. That's the analogy one would use to understand what's going on in this relationship with bacteria. Every part of our body is covered in microbes. People used to think that urine is sterile, your blood system is sterile, the womb is sterile. None of those things are sterile. In our blood, for every 5 mLs of blood, you've got over 1,000 bacteria cells in there. And we have around 5,500 milliliters of blood. So do 5,500 times 1,000, that's how many bacteria cells we have floating around in our blood. 10, 15 years ago, if a doctor saw bacteria in your blood, they'd be freaking out that you're having sepsis or some sort of bacterial poisoning, right? And so that kind of intimate, intricate relationship that we have with microbes has occurred over millions of years of evolution, and it's done through pure happenstance and pure significant exposure. Right? If we weren't exposed to microbes all the time, we wouldn't have this relationship with them.
Has gut health and our microbiology ever been more compromised or more under threat? And absolutely, there's such a overwhelming amount of evidence with all sorts of chronic diseases, because we're not our species isn't dying off because of these crazy acute things. It's these chronic. It's the autoimmunity, it's the cancer, it's the heart disease. And, every single one of these things, as you were saying, we can link back to microbiome related imbalances. So I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about that connection, so people understand that more of chronic inflammatory diseases and compromised GI health, endotoxemia. I write a lot about this stuff on my blog and everything, and then I think we'll have to talk about ketosis too at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.